I'm going to read something to you now, which is a hymn that's been around for a very long time because Charles Wesley wrote it, but I don't think it gets sung very often. But the words, to me, are really very meaningful. So just please listen to these words. Open, Lord, my inward ear, and bid my heart rejoice. Bid my quiet spirit hear your comfortable voice. Never in the whirlwind found, nor where earthquakes rock the place. Still and silent is the sound, the whisper of your grace. From the world of sin and noise and hurry I withdraw. For the small and inward voice I wait with humble awe. Silent am I now and still, dare not in your presence move. To my waiting soul reveal the secret of your love. You did undertake for me to death were sold. Wisdom in a mystery of bleeding love unfold. Teach the lesson of your cross. Let me die with you to reign. All things let me count but loss, so I may you regain. Show me as my soul can bear the depth of inbred sin. All the unbelief declare, the pride that lurks within. Take me, whom yourself have bought, bring into captivity every high aspiring thought, and give humility. Lord, my time is in your hand. My soul to you convert. You can make me understand, though I am slow of heart. Yours in whom I live and move. Yours the work, your name divine. You are wisdom, power, and love, and all you are is mine. I think the most powerful words of that hymn for me just come from that opening line, open, Lord, my inward ear. Are you aware of your inward ear? I don't mean medically or inner ear, but are you aware of your inward ear? Can you locate it in a place in your body? Maybe you perceive it in your heart or in your head. Some people, depending on their first language, might perceive it in their gut. Some people might just perceive it in a quiet space, wherever they happen to be able to sit and clear everything from their minds. I think it's one of Charles Wesley's most powerful hymns, though it's hardly ever sung in my experience. Though I'll wait for you to tell me you used to sing it every week before I came or something. It's based on the story from the Old Testament of Elijah, who, in a bit of a panic and a bit of a huff, feels that he has been abandoned by God. Everything has gone wrong for Elijah, and he has to hide from his enemies. So he hides in a cave, and God tells him to wait and listen, and he will hear God speaking to him. Wait and listen. And then God's voice comes eventually. It's not in the wind, it's not in the earthquake, it's not in the fire, it's a gentle whisper, as in the hymn. And so Elijah went out of the cave, put his cloak over his face, and listened. The hymn challenges us to find our cloak or our monk's hood, if you like, to pull it up around ourselves and to listen. Wait and listen. If God's voice really is just a whisper, then we're going to have to be very quiet and very still in order to hear it. So we're going to hear that story now from 1 Kings chapter 19, the story of Elijah waiting and listening for God.
So it's chapter 19, beginning at the first verse. King Ahab told his wife Jezebel everything that Elijah had done and how he had put all the prophets of Baal to death. She sent a message to Elijah, "May the gods strike me dead if by this time tomorrow I don't do the same thing to you that you did to the prophets." Elijah was afraid and fled for his life. He took his servant and went to Beersheba in Judah. Leaving the servant there, Elijah walked a whole day into the wilderness. He stopped and sat down in the shade of a tree and wished he would die. "It's too much, Lord," he prayed. "Take away my life. I might as well be dead." He lay down under the tree and fell asleep. Suddenly an angel touched him and said, "Wake up and eat." He looked round and saw a loaf of bread and a jar of water near his head. He ate and drank and lay down again. The Lord's angel returned and woke him up a second time, saying, "Get up and eat, or the journey will be too much for you." Elijah got up, ate and drank, and the food gave him enough strength to walk 40 days to Sinai, the holy mountain. There he went into a cave to spend the night.
Deuteronomy chapter 30, verses 15 to 20. The two ways. Look, today I am offering you life and prosperity, death and disaster. If you obey the commandments of Yahweh your God, which I am laying down for you today, if you love Yahweh your God and follow his ways, if you keep his commandments, his laws and his customs, you will live and grow numerous, and Yahweh your God will bless you in the country which you are about to enter and make your own. But if your heart turns away, if you refuse to listen, if you let yourself be drawn into worshipping other gods and serving them, I tell you today, you will most certainly perish. You will not live for long in the country which you are crossing the Jordan to enter and possess. Today I call heaven and earth to witness against you. I am offering you life or death, blessing or curse. Choose life then, so that you and your descendants may live in the love of Yahweh your God, obeying his voice, holding fast to him, for in this your life consists, and on this depends the length of time that you stay in the country which Yahweh swore to your ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that he would give them.
So the people were told to listen to God and to obey God's voice. These things are crucial because they're the things that bring life and blessing rather than death and curse. Listen to God, obey God's voice, hold fast to him, for the Lord is your life. Listen to the voice of God. We know from the Wesley hymn that listening deeply brings true knowledge of oneself, true knowledge of one's sin and needs, and leads to rejoicing in the heart. The reading that we just heard says that listening to the voice of God is life itself. It's a choice. Listen to God and obey his voice is the choice for life. It's the basis for everything. I'm going to read part of another hymn. Again, it's not very well known, though you may have come across it. This is the second verse. Lord, you sometimes speak in whispers, still and small and scarcely heard. Only those who want to listen catch the all-important word. O Lord, you sometimes speak in whispers. The other verses begin, O Lord, you sometimes speak in wonders, speak in silence, speak in scripture, speak in Jesus. Let me give you that verse again. Lord, you sometimes speak in whispers, still and small and scarcely heard. Only those who want to listen catch the all-important word. O Lord, you sometimes speak in whispers. It's number 158 if you want to look it up later. It can be difficult to find silent spaces. There was a feature on BBC Breakfast News the other day, which I like to watch breakfast news, but sometimes I think that's actually disturbing my silence, so that's a bit of something I'm not sure about. But anyway, there was a feature on BBC Breakfast News about the use of mobile phones on buses and trains, and people complaining about people conducting private business in loud voices in these places. Yet we struggle. I admit I've done it. We struggle to switch these things off and to switch our minds off. And by the time I finish this service, I wonder how many notifications of various kinds I will have on my two phones. Because yes, I have two phones. I have a private one and a work one. So they've probably got lots of notifications on them all together. Sometimes these days, people talk about mindfulness. It's something that anyone can learn how to do, and I suppose you might describe it as a secular thing because anybody of any persuasion can do it, but it's actually rooted in all the major religious traditions. This idea of finding a quiet space, something to focus on, and just to listen deeply. Apparently, somebody once asked a famous person who I think was Mother Teresa, but you'll correct me if you know I'm wrong. Somebody once asked her, "What do you say when you pray?" And she said, "I don't say anything, I listen." And the person said, "And what does God say when you pray?" And the reply, "He doesn't say anything, he listens." So let's have a moment of quiet just to think about that.